Welcome to the Workshop Podcast, episode, I believe, 11. Nobody correct me if I'm wrong. My name is Patrick Caleri.
I'm Frankie Valentine.
I'm Sarah Billiot.
That's as far as we got. So, it's kind of just freeball from here.
Patrick's back! Yay!
Yay!
Yay! I know you guys missed this monotone.
Yeah. Congratulations on the lack of death.
Thank you. I'm not sure how I feel about it just yet, but, I'll let you know. I'm of mixed feelings about that.
Don't take any Tylenol. Just
yeah.
One of my teacher friends who teaches at a junior high posted on Facebook that it's been a day, and earlier today she heard a kid yell down the hallway, "Yeah, well, your mom took Tylenol." She's like, I was gonna be mad, but I was just impressed they had a current event.
Yeah, like honestly, that's quick. That's unfortunate how quick that turnaround was. God. I can't remember what comedian made this point, but he makes the joke that kids are always terrifying because they're mean, but they're mean in a really accurate and brutal sense. Like they'll just really knock you down. Like as an adult, you're not sure what another person is insecure about, but as a kid, somehow you just know and you attack that.
That, and on the flip side of that, even if you weren't insecure about it before, you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never questioned the shape of my eyebrows until I taught first grade. Now I'm just like, I don't have eyebrows, guys. I know what you're talking about.
Please do not perceive me.
Yeah, these are pet caterpillars. It's fine.
See, I used to brutally bully my youngest sister about her eyebrows to the point where she was like, okay, well, now I have to keep them groomed all the time. And I kind of feel bad, but also she has really nice eyebrows.
So really, am I the bad guy?
She no longer has a unibrow.
Oh, well. That was just you doing the Lord's work. That's what that was.
Exactly.
Is it really abuse if I was right? I mean...
Like, did I punch her in the face every time I said it? Yes, but I needed to get the point across.
You know what? Those eyebrows?
Well, last week, when we didn't have Patrick, and we were very off topic, we had a prompt. What do you worry about? Who would like to go first?
I can go first since I wasn't here last week.
All right.
It is... all right. What do you worry about? So I wrote mine, obviously, kind of like we've been doing in a lot of these, as a story in a different setting, but it is a very good... when I think of like dread, this is the kind of feeling I was going for. So it's a piece called Blue Shift.
Alrighty.
All right. The red shift listed through the black ink of space like a cold fish in an ocean of eyes. There was a story that Dirge remembered from old Earth. Well, less remembered and more forgot to forget. Something about a fleece and a quest to retrieve it, and a 100-eyed guardian who stood watch over the treasure. He didn't remember how that story ended. Still, whenever Jeb put them out past the breakers and into the depths of the universe, he couldn't help think of Argus. Jeb hummed an atonal melody from his captain's hammock, fingers ghosting along the neon display of the readout overhead. He always preferred looking up, for whatever reason. Tertiary thrusters not cycling the way it ought, he groused. Dirge waited. As usual, Jeb didn't elaborate. And that's bad? Dirge said, trying and failing to keep exasperation from his voice. The gnarled captain frowned and tossed a glance at the teenage boy through begrimed spectacles, as if somehow surprised to find himself not alone in the cockpit. He swayed his head to the side, considering the question, before cocking what remained of an eyebrow. Well, it's not good. For the trillionth time, Dirge fought the urge to kick a bulkhead. Spacing wasn't for the meek. Everyone knew that. Even if the overarching story of the 25th century was one of sustained improvement in the realm of intrasolar travel, it would be a mistake to ever consider it safe. Way back in the misty ages of old Earth's colonization, sailors would go months between sightings of land. If you increase that time by several orders of magnitude, you might come close to approximating the experience of your average long haul spacer. 3 nights ago, Jeb had cycled from one comm to another all evening long, checking in on old crewmates like he did whenever the red shift came within hailing distance of their shipping lanes, which was not often. In the entirety of their 18-month voyage, it was the first time Dirge could remember hearing a voice other than Jeb's. It took a supreme amount of self-confidence and a profound kind of crazy to ride the void. And that was just for an average spacer gig. While the red shift and her captain were many things, average wasn't among them. Most crews refused to make salvage runs into deep space with any fewer than 10 shipmates. It made sense in an environment where a nick in the ship's hull could butterfly into a catastrophic implosion in less time than it took to locate the sun. A full crew outfit, redundant system failsafes, and a healthy fear of the unknown. All these ingredients were crucial in making a seasoned spacer. Lack of knowledge was a handicap planetside. It would murder you out in space. We're 500,000 clicks from the nearest comms buoy, Dirge said slowly. The recommended maximum distance was closer to 100,000 kilos. At least, that's what the Academy handbook said. That far? Autonav must have drifted in the night. Uh-huh. We go further, we won't be able to relay our transponder to anyone nearby. Dirge said it like he didn't know for a fact that they'd slipped outside of signal range 4 hours ago. I'm gonna bring us back closer to home. Nah, hold off, Jeb drawled, never taking his eye off the readout. What? Wanted to put us past Pluto, see if the dwarves had anything worth scrapping. Past Pluto? Don't tell me you're afraid of the dark now. Dirge pinched his nose. The dark? No. Dying in an aluminum sarcophagus, you bet your ass. Don't insult my old lady. Dirge wasn't sure if he was more impressed or horrified that the red shift had avoided decommission for so long. It groaned like a wounded elephant on every liftoff and had coolant leaking from lines where coolant shouldn't run. No, he wasn't completely opposed to deep space runs. That was where the real money was, after all, out past the American Empire's wandering gaze. But at this point, the red shift hardly looked different from the derelict husks it salvaged, and each fresh mile into the void felt like a step down a gravity well. If you say just stick with me one more time, I'm venting myself, Dirge snapped. He couldn't be sure because of the low light in the cabin, but he thought he saw Jeb grin. It was all well and good for the wizened spacer. He had more runs under his belt than Dirge could imagine surviving, and nothing in the vastness of the Milky Way ever surprised him. The very name of the ship was a kind of inside joke. Jeb said that he always felt gravity worked the opposite way for him, pushing him out instead of pulling him in. But Dirge hadn't earned the same self-assurance yet, and there were times that Jeb's confidence made him feel like an evergreen. At least one of them knew what they were doing, though, or pretended to. That would have to be enough. Dirge made to angle the scopes towards Haumea and Eris. Stop. The word sounded like frost, and it brought the chill with it. In 4 years as Jeb's mate, Dirge had never heard him speak so clearly. What? Scope down, below the solar plane. Why? The question died in his throat. Jeb was sitting ramrod straight in his hammock, and he'd moved the readout display to the wall beside him. His expression looked like he was in pain, scrunched and tight, but that wasn't exactly the right word for it. Dirge did as he was told. What else did you move? Nothing, I swear. He swears, Jeb grumbled, eyes still glued to the holographic display. No, he wasn't in pain. It was worse than that. He was confused. What's up? Dirge asked. Jeb didn't answer at first. Hey, Jay. Jeb didn't answer for a moment longer. When he did, Dirge was even more confused than before. Blue shift? It was the last phrase you wanted to hear in the remote corners of Empire space. As stars moved apart from one another, they took on a specific tint because of the effect of gravity on the visible light spectrum. The widening distance, in essence, stretched the light waves, lengthening them and making them take on a reddish hue. This phenomenon held true for all solar objects, be they ships, stars, or planets. It was integral to stellar navigation. So, of course, the opposite also held true. In many regions of the solar system, a blue shift on the scope was a crew's first and last warning that another ship was closing in. A ship that, for some reason, did not want to be identified. But that only made sense around population centers, and crouched as they were on the edge of sane space. Exoplanet, maybe? Dirge asked. Not that far down, and it's moving wrong. Wrong? Fast. The hell moves fast out here. The captain dimmed the readout. The confusion was still etched on his face, but Dirge could see the whites of his eyes as it was supplanted by a different emotion. For the first time, he wondered if they were the only fish out past the breakers. I don't know, Jeb said.
Ooh.
You do such a good job with world building.
Oh, thank you.
Like
There,
completely different world, and I'm just like immersed in it.
there was not a second of that story. I wasn't exactly sure where I was, even though you never
Yes.
explicitly
And
said
it wasn't too much detail. Like it was just enough detail.
Oh,
And
good.
this is not the type of like stories that I typically like. So whenever I'm saying like I was in it, I was in it.
Good, good. I really liked the. I don't know. I had the name Blue Shift in my head, and I was just for some reason that came across my mind the other day, and I tied into the prompt because I was thinking about just like interstellar horror, that kind of stuff. To me, that's the most frightening kind of shit is the vastness of whatever's out there and the not knowing what could be out there. So I kind of wanted to try to make that come across.
comes across well. I really like that. That was really good. All right, who's next?
I can go next if you would like me
Alright.
to.
I would love you to.
Okay.
So y'all went with multiple pages. I think mine is 1 page long, if that. See?
Hey, we all put up what we put up.
Okay.
Yep, it's 1 page.
Um so I'm going to preface this by saying it's kind of like a creative nonfiction piece. And I kind of talked about probably a few episodes ago, like, or it was probably way more episodes than a few episodes ago,
Yeah.
about like my time in like experiencing postpartum and how I was diagnosed with postpartum OCD, and I like really understood the difference between, you know, like pop culture OCD versus actual real life shit OCD. Um is there an echo for you guys? Because there's an echo for me. No?
No.
I don't hear one.
1 second.
Technical difficulties. We got
Okay. Can you still hear me?
it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Clearer now, actually.
I don't know what's going on, but okay.
Yeah.
So I kind of used this prompt to just like get all the shit out of my postpartum journal, and it was really easy to write, but it was also like freeing, and also it's really heavy shit. So um enjoy.
Hi.
Okay. Um it is titled Nothing to Worry About Here. I stare at the oven's dirty window, watching cheese bubble and brown on top of the frozen lasagna I last minute threw in. It talks to me. It has been for days now, whispering breathy commands in my ear or shouting to me as I lay awake and afraid on dirty bed sheets. No, I tell it. No, I won't. I shake my head, pull at my hair, block my ears with my milk stained fingers, but still, I sit beside a flimsy bassinet too large for our room and avoid eye contact with the child inside because I'm afraid I will. I'm afraid I want to. I'm afraid I already have. Hot tears stream down my face as I listen to their voices, breathy but strong, and even as I lay on filthy bed sheets, attempting to find a restless sleep, I hear them chanting, "Put him in! Put him in! Put him in!" 1 hour later, or maybe 3 or 12, I hear them again. Persistent they are as I pace around our home, bouncing and rocking a crying baby boy who can't be soothed. They tell me to clean, drop him and clean. All the soiled bottles that litter the countertops, all the diapers that overflow the trash, all the burp rags decorating the living room furniture. These voices don't know what it's like to hold something so gentle, someone so helpless and new. The bottles can wait, I tell myself calmly, as I pull the last clean one from the fridge. Let me relish in his new baby scent. Let me calm him, soothe him, hit him. No, breathe. 10 seconds in, 10 seconds out. They are thoughts, not feelings. They are figments of my hormonal mind. You are allowed to step back, I recall the doctor saying. Set him down in a safe place and breathe. A couple of minutes without you will be okay, Mama. So I set him down in his flimsy bassinet, dirty sheets and all, and he kicks and screams, red faced and furious, trying to throw back his head in infant revenge as he tosses and turns. I close the door, his screams echoing through my empty skull and crawling into my dark, weak heart. Living hasn't ever been so hard. The bottle, I say as I enter the cluttered kitchen and stare at the milk left on the counter. I should drug it. He's asleep now, quiet and peaceful, pulling at my hair to be sure I am still near as I rock him to as I rock him to the tune of his favorite songs. Surely he was only hungry. Surely he's asleep on his own accord. Surely I didn't listen to those wicked voices that have wormed their way into my mind. Surely I didn't drug his milk. But yet he sleeps and sleeps, still and silent, quieter than he's ever been. I place him beside my bed in that flimsy bassinet and watch closely as his chest rises and falls. I place my finger beneath his little button nose and feel his shallow breathing. I place my ear against his fluttering heart and wonder if it beats too fast. I try to remember at what pace his heart normally beats. How quick does he normally breathe? I tiptoe out of the room and close the door behind me. My body tells me to crawl into bed, watch him sleep until sleep finds me. But the day's dirty bottles remind me of my chores. I scrub at the old milk with too much force and soap as the scalding water sanitizes and breaks it apart. Chunk by chunk and piece by piece, unused milk washes down the drain, leaving behind a slurry of rotten suds. I gather the clutter piling against the tile backsplash. Use napkins and burp cloths, empty wrappers and plastic forks, half drank coffee cups and forgotten lunch, and toss it all in an overflowing trash before that too gets tied and tossed for trash pickup the next day. Back inside, it is quiet, save for the hum of the AC and clicking of the ceiling fans. I stand alone in our cluttered space, listening too closely for a whisper or a gag, a whimper or a cough. Nothing as I pad toward the bedroom. Nothing as I open the door. You've drugged him. You've killed him. You're free from his cries. I shake my head, swallowing the growing lump lodged in my throat and breathing past the burn in my nose. No medicine on the countertops, no syringes in the sink, no pink stains in his last bottle. I crawl into bed and pull the covers to my chin, watching as his chest rises and falls, as his small hands and feet twitch. He smiles once in his sleep, something he rarely does, and I wonder what he dreams about. Smother him. I'm awake now and have been for hours. I snuck down the hallway at 1 a.m. to check the door locks and oven knobs again and again. I searched for a bottle of liquid Benadryl, which I've not once owned. I searched for children's Tylenol and Motrin and their accompanying syringes, all sealed shut and new. I searched for melatonin gummies I maybe shoved down his throat or pain pills I made him taste. I searched for bottles of liquor I so slyly replaced for his milk. Nothing. Nothing. And yet I've drugged him. Certainly I have. Certainly and purposefully I've put him to sleep, never to wake again. Oh, Doc, is it normal to feel this way? Numb in emotion, crazy in thought? Is this what motherhood will forever be? I am tired, Doc. My brain is sick and I am alone. But I can't speak of the things I've heard or of the thoughts I've thought. To speak of them is to acknowledge them, and to acknowledge them is to accept. I promise I don't want to hurt him. Please don't take him away. I promise I don't want to hurt him. Please don't take him away. I promise I don't want to hurt him. Please don't take him away. For only one moment, I let my eyes flutter closed and search for sleep beside him, with my face near the netting of his bed, the TV flickering light against my graying skin. But his soft whimpers lure me into him, and I pull him from his flimsy bassinet to lay beside me, his favorite blanket tucked beneath his chin. He's He smiles at me as I pepper kisses along his cheeks, and he pulls at my face as he returns them with slobber and love. I coo his name and watch his smile grow. Oh, how lucky I am to have a happy, healthy baby that sleeps through the night.
Wow. That was really good.
Like, I don't.
Wow.
I feel like saying I liked it is the wrong react. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's like, yeah, go, but like, but
I
also
think
like, yeah, go. Like, no, you. That was as usual. Um, yeah, no, that was really, really good. I always like reading what you write because you don't pull punches in the emotion, which is kind of the whole freaking point. Like, I mean, I don't want to read something that someone's just giving a sanitized version. I mean, I can't even imagine what postpartum would be like, for many reasons, obviously. But but it really made me consider a lot of aspects to it and how that couples with mental health and exhaustion and stuff like that. Um, I think you really hit the nail on the head.
yeah.
Thanks.
I too have not experienced postpartum anything, prepartum, any kind of partum. But I do appreciate the craft, the time, and the emotion given to this piece. It was it was a whirlwind, to say the least. Because it's like it's that thing, a lot of women go through with, like, you want a baby, you want a family, you finally have it, and your brain's like, just fuck you, man. Like,
Yeah.
that really captured the idea of your brain telling you, fuck you. You got what you want, now I'm gonna destroy it. And there's no way to stop it. All you can do is try to get help with it. And I
Yeah.
very I very much appreciate the emotion in this. This was really good. I loved it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so that just leaves me and Anchor. I often worry about aging up because I'm 34. I'm single. I have no children. But like it's not that my life is not fulfilled. It's just what I want, And you don't always get what you want. I may have kids. I may not. Stuff like that. But I I have this fear of being alone. So uh, here is one of my favorite characters. I have him in several other stories, but this is him as an old man. So here is Anchor. I was a hell of a man when I was younger. I weighed a buck 25, all muscle. My brother used to say that boy got muscles in his shit. Now I'm old and sagging and crippled. I sit in this wheelchair every day and watch. I watch people come to see people they love. I watch mindless TV shows where young girls don't know who the daddy of their babies are. I watch as the nurse with the nice ass bends over to fetch me the whatever it was I had on hand to toss across the room when she wasn't looking. The things I would do to her if I could walk or talk. The kid still comes around every once in a while. This was his idea. I told him I'd rather die in my tin can than come stay in a shithole like this. So here I am, in a shithole like this, watching average looking women bend over and can't do a fucking thing about it. My doctor calls me Anthony, not Mr. Sanders, not Anchor. Hell, I'd rather he call me a son of a bitch instead of Anthony. I spent 70 years running from Anthony. It's like he can't see that it makes me uncomfortable, that I don't respond when he says it. The tattoo on my arm. I mean, yeah, it's fucking faded. But then again, so am I. And he sees me just fine. Well, just long enough to ensure his portion of my pension. The next time he calls me Anthony, I'm gonna kick him in his nuts. My right leg don't work where the fuck, but my left one's as strong as an ox. He'll have to have them little peanuts removed from just behind his eyes when I'm done with him. I'd kill to shovel some horse shit right now, just to be knee deep in something other than a paper gown. It's all fucked. I want to go home. How'd that grab you?
I like.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Sarah. You go. Well, I'm glad that my internet was being patchy for a little bit. I was reading along, but your voice was coming in and out, and so one of the times it came in was crap. What was it? The nurse with the nice ass bends over to fetch me the whatever it was, and then you faded out, and I was like, oh. But no, that really, I really like your. So Sarah said earlier that I do good with world building. I like your world building through in turn. You do really well through your almost character self description. Like I really love the not Mr. Sanders, not Anchor bit. The like him thinking about how he wants to be referenced. I don't know. That was a really good. It gave me. If I felt like I got a window more into his past just with that nickname.
Yeah, and it's crazy that like before we were talking about how you do really good with dialogue. I don't know if that was when we started recording or before we started recording, but it's crazy that there's no dialogue in this.
Frank is like, and I took that personally.
Yeah. And it's still just like it comes off as if he's just talking to himself, and it flows. It is very natural, and I'm just very jealous that you can do this.
Yeah, I thought about that as well. Like we were gassing her up about the dialogue, and then she's like, "All right, well, I'm not going to do that this time. What are you going to do now?" I'm like,
"Oh, it feels so good."
I thought about it as soon as I posted. Is like, all right, it's my turn to throw in a twist.
And I also think that like there's obviously like a lot of profanity in it, but it works with the character and like the way you read it and the way the character reads. I feel like if it was a different character, like for example, if I put a bunch of fucks and shits in the story that I just wrote, it would absolutely ruin it. But with yours, it like it brings his personality to life. Right. So
because he's I was raised around old welders.
Oh, then this is tame.
I've heard stories, man. There was a guy they worked with offshore. His nickname was Cat Dick. Can't tell you his real name, but that man went by Cat Dick. They'd say, "Hey, Cat Dick," and he'd say, "Yeah, what do you need? That's me." Like, so, but like all of my uncles on my dad's side, like his father's people, they were all. I have a wonderful World War II story. My uncle Johnny, my uncle Obi, and I want to say my uncle Tobud were all stationed in Germany. No, not Germany. Somewhere. I don't know where they were stationed, but they had leave for the night and they went to a bar. And there was a man in the corner when they got there, and he was surrounded by 4 fellas, and they were going to beat the shit out of him because he was a soldier. And they said, "Well, hell, we're soldiers. Let's help the boy out." So they flipped the table over, broke off the legs, chunked him a leg, and everybody took a guy, and they beat the shit out the guys. Well, they kicked them all out of the bar, and they got to talking, and the soldier was like, "So what's y'all names?" Like, "Well, I'm Johnny Blood. This is Tobud Blood, because that's our family name." And the guy goes, "Blood? That's my girlfriend's last name, Doris." They helped out my grandfather before they even know he was dating their sister.
That's really funny. Small world.
Right? So
I really, the I think the second, I mean, I can't really call it the second to last paragraph because the last paragraph's just a sentence, but the shoveling horseshit bit was great. It really, I don't know, it really brought the frustration home in a way that niceties can't. It's like, oh, I wish I was better. No, this isn't a man that's going to think that. He just wants to do anything.
Yeah,
Right, right.
anything other than basically like
Die.
rotting in a home. Yeah.
Yeah. Knee deep in anything but a paper gown really is one of the favorite lines I've ever done. Personal favorite lines.
That
Yeah.
was really well done.
Thank you, thank you. But yeah, he's just an old Navy vet. He's I had one story. He actually used to be an animal handler. My very first story with him in it, he was an animal handler in the circus, and he took care of horses and lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! So like to go from that to this story, it's kind of heartbreaking to see his downfall in my head. Like to do
Yeah.
and it was very much like that with like my grandfather's my grandpa Jimmy. When I was a kid, he owned a junkyard, he scrap ironed, and he passed away when I was 9. So watching him go from this man who could bench press an automobile to in a hospital bed in his own living room waiting to pass away, it was shocking. It really shaped me as a person and as a writer. So fun fact, my grandparents lived next door to each other. My dad's was on this side, my mom was on that side. My grandfathers were friends, and when my grandpa Jimmy passed away, my grandpa Dave was there visiting, holding his hand.
Aw.
Yeah, so
Wow.
When Grandpa Dave stood up to leave, he said, "All right, Jimmy, I'm gonna come see you tomorrow," and there was no response. So yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, and then Grandpa Dave passed away a year later with bone cancer. So I've watched these men go from outside every day, working with machines, being these big, strong guys, to gone. So it's all right. That's depressing. Let's move on.
No, but you encapsulated it well. I think it really came
Yeah.
across.
Thank you. Thank you. So our where is it? No, I didn't. Oh, our prompt for next week. If you fell down a rabbit hole, what do you think you would find?
Oh dear.
Yeah, let that mean whatever you want it to mean.
Interesting.
Because I like Alice in Wonderland, but I don't plan on doing any LSD before I sit down to write. It's not...
Right.
I thought that was a prerequisite for getting on. You guys haven't been doing that?
No, edibles. That's legal.
There you go. There you go.
If you can get it from Amazon, it's probably legal. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
I blame Ernest Hemingway for my attempts at drunk literature in college. The whole write drunk, edit sober is not accurate. It just writes like you're writing drunk.
For me, it's when you're so drunk that you're off a key, so it's just fucking gibberish.
And you're like, what the hell was I trying to say?
Like, goddamn, Jack Daniels, I thought you was my friend. You write with Jack, you let Jose edit.
You just never be sober, actually.
Yeah.
That is the idea.
Sobriety's overrated. Don't go to rehab.
If I could avoid the cumulative hangover, I would never be sober.
Right? Hey, you can't be hungover if you didn't stop drinking.
I tried that. Didn't work out too well.
I'm an educator. I should probably stop saying this.
Do as I say, not as I do. That's another one.
Good lesson. Good life lesson. Speaking of Hemingway, we had kind of talked about what we wanted to talk about this week, being a writer and like that whole that process of finding time to write. And I was trying to find some quotes, a specific quote by Taika Waititi. I apologize for that pronunciation, but I did find one from Ernest Hemingway, and I jotted it down just so I could bring it up. And he says, "There's nothing to writing. All you do is sit down at a typewriter and bleed." And I just wanted to get you guys' feelings on that.
The first emo boy.
He sat down to his typewriter and was like, "Where are you?"
Like, Only he would not have fit in with like Mayday Parade.
Yeah.
Maybe Black Parade. I don't know.
Sit down and bleed. Okay. I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said for write what you know. I don't know. I mean, I like the quote. I just can't. I can't feel that powerfully about everything I write, and I wish that weren't the case. I wish I could say that writing the transition scene to get character from point A to point B meant something to me. I wish I could say that I had an iceberg theory about what the journey meant, but sometimes I just got to get someone out the room, and so I think there is truth to it in certain fundamental sequences that you're writing and when you're trying, like what Sarah wrote. Obviously, yes, very true for that. But I think you can fall into a trap of pressuring yourself so much to feel like what you write needs to be profound that you just don't do it. I mean, that's what I do a lot of the time. If I don't feel like I'm going to do it justice, I'm like, oh, well, why even start? And that's not going to improve my craft.
Yeah. Like sometimes it's not sit down at the typewriter and bleed. It's sit down at the typewriter and vomit. Because it's pipes. And like I have 1,000 untitled Google documents with like a paragraph of just bullshit that at some point my brain was like, this is gonna be the next great American novel. But it stopped mid-sentence at the end of the paragraph. I'm just like, wow. My brain is stupid.
Yeah, I feel like writing in, when was Hemingway active? Like 20s,
He
30s,
would have been
40s?
30s.
Okay.
Let's see.
Life was
20s and,
hard in the
20s
30s
and
for
30s,
sure.
I think.
Yeah, he was alive from 1899 to 1961. So
Okay.
Actually, he lasted longer than I thought.
Like, life was hard, and I don't want to say that my life is harder than his. However, it is a different time, and if I sat down at a typewriter or a computer or with a pen and paper or whatever and just quote unquote bled, I would not get anything else done. I wouldn't go to work. I wouldn't make money. I wouldn't take care of my child. And so I don't know how it's possible to use that advice today. Like, there's nothing to it. It's like there's a lot to it. I have to schedule it, actually.
Yeah.
I have to
there was
schedule my time to bleed.
there. Hang on, I'm sorry. This is not. It doesn't fit into the schedule today. I have to go to a removal proceeding. I will bleed later. Like,
First, you gotta cry 20 minutes. Like, what the fuck?
I got to work my way up.
Yeah.
The
The whole process. It's not just bleeding.
Right.
No, I mean, that's an interesting thing with Hemingway too, because his life wasn't easy. The guy was in war. He was wounded. He was, but he was also, once the war ended, he was part of the expatriate community that literally kind of lounged around Europe, which is fine, totally fine. But that's the core of so many of his novels, is kind of either, if it's not set in war or after the war, it's just kind of like what the expats are doing in Europe. They're hanging out. They're not fulfilled. They don't feel great. But that in itself does come from a place of privilege. I mean, not a ton of people could just say, I'm going to live in Europe and sell novels about adventures, whether or not you're a good writer or not. I think it's survivorship bias in a lot of the sense. And I think, to Frankie's point, you can sit down and bleed, you can sit down and vomit. One of my more favorite bits of advice, though, comes from Stephen King, and it essentially boils down to just sit down and write. Even if it's bad, especially if it's bad. You don't have to keep it. You don't have to tell anyone you wrote it, but it's the difference of consistency and making yourself do it. even if it's not every day, every other day, every third day, just consistency. That's the only way I ever finished like a manuscript of any significant length. It was every day after school, I sat down and I wrote for an hour. I might throw it out, but it was just
It was
pumping
something.
it out in volume. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I found that quote looking for one by Taika Waititi, who you may know from the TV show um, Our Flag Means Death. He plays Blackbeard.
Mhm.
Pretty sure he also wrote and directed a bunch of Marvel movies as well.
Yeah, he's pretty prolific as a director now.
Yeah. He also is in I think he also wrote What We Do in the Shadows.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Uh, his stuff is hilarious. He did a movie not too long ago, Next Goal Wins, and it's a true story about the American Samoan soccer team, and it's really freaking good. It's on Hulu, so you got to watch it with commercials, but it's very worth it. But the quote I was looking for is sometimes writing is opening up your laptop, staring at a blank page for about 8 hours, and then feeling sad and then closing it. That's still classified as writing. And I've never resonated with that so much in my life because like sometimes that white page is looking at you like not today. I'm like, you're right, not today.
I don't know.
But my process was always like had to have the right music. I had to have the right place. Like I'm in my room now and there's no one behind me. And that's fine. But if I'm somewhere else trying to write, whether I'm sitting against a wall or if there are people behind me, I have this weird notion that someone is reading it. And I firmly live by the statement shitty first drafts. Like brain vomit coming out. I just don't want someone to be over my shoulder like, ugh. You sure you got a master's in this? What the hell? Shut up. I don't know how to spell.
Yeah, and being in an environment that's not for me, I do need silence, or at least an approximation. Like I can listen to rain, I can listen to some white noise, but I'm really not good with something that has a lot of melody, something that has a lot of um, upbeat tempo, because I'm just gonna be like bouncing my foot or shifting around in my seat. I Sarah knows this. I am pretty extremely or pretty decently ADHD, and so that's another. I have to make sure I'm physically worn out but mentally not before I can write. And honestly, running, swimming, like exercise, I would make sure I was exercising very regularly when I was writing my novel because that helped so much with just sitting down.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think right now the biggest thing that I have been struggling with is the fact that I am ADHD, and I if I put on a song that I like a little bit too much, that's it. Can't I'm done for the day because I'm gonna have that stuck in my head. Or if I have mama, mama, mama yelling at me, I'm done for the day because then I gotta attend to him. And so, like, the thing that I've been struggling with is just being able to carve out enough time between my work schedule and my parenting schedule and my social life to sit down and write once a day. And it is difficult, and it kind of irks a nerve whenever I see these quotes from these super old authors who are profound, and they're always going to be profound, and they're just like, all you got to do is write. And it's like, your wife took care of the kids, she cooked, she cleaned, you didn't need
While you cheated on her.
yeah, right. Like, it's a different time. Like, stop shoving it down my throat that I just gotta write because it makes me feel bad that I
I
can't just write.
I think grain of salt with some of these people, not necessarily Taika Waititi, but some of the older ones like Hemingway, like Fitzgerald. Something that helps me to remember is that just because you're a good writer doesn't necessarily make you a decent or good human being. Like, a lot of them, they talk a good game and they're just like, oh, they put these themes in their works, but they were trash as people. And it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, a little bit of a balance
Yeah.
there. Maybe you can't necessarily be like them because you're not as don't feel as bad about the things you do.
I'm still pissed off at Fitzgerald for writing The Great Gatsby, so I'm not. Full fucking thing he says. I actually asked one of my teachers in high school, like, is it okay if I just call him the OK Gatsby? And she was like, no. So obviously you didn't read it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess step 1, abandon your family. Step 2, profit. Like,
Cheat on your spouse.
so it has to happen. High functioning alcoholism. Check that box.
Right.
Yeah, that's from the time back when the smell of a man was whiskey, pipe tobacco, and adultery. Yeah.
Got all 3. I mean, it's like the well, I mean, we could play a whole game of that, of name your favorite author who is a terrible human being. And it's like, oh no, but I only learned after.
Right.
Neil Gaiman has entered
What'd you say?
Neil Gaiman has entered the chat.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see you. Because, like, oh man, I hate it so much.
I just wonder who they got to like take over his. He was teaching those courses on that
The
website.
master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, did they do a Paula Deen? Did they just hire someone else who kind of does the same thing? Like, yeah, I'm Billy.
Get someone that's obviously not Neil Gaiman but has slightly similar hair and never reference that it's not Neil Gaiman.
just an old British fellow, like, hello. Pardon me, would you like to learn to write?
Just like whenever they replaced the mom on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah. We're just now going to talk about this whole new person.
It's always been this way. It's always happened this way.
Or they could do it like the soap operas. Like, if ever they wanted to age up a child and they got a new actor or something, a little announcement would come on. It was like, the role of Timmy has been replaced with the actor blah, 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 due to the writers wanting to take a new direction. And this full-grown man would come down like, Mom, you gotta go to baseball practice. I'm gonna be a famous baseball player. And he breaks his knee in like the next episode. So like this whole that drama. Like, the role of Neil Gaiman has been replaced by someone who isn't a pervert. I don't know.
Honestly, anyone. I really, actually, you know what? Go the opposite way. Don't even make him similar. Make it Channing Tatum.
In his Magic Mike costume.
You know what? All right.
Like,
I'm here for it.
it's like
Let's
10
learn.
episodes. Yeah, it's 10 episodes of just him dancing, like, dialogue.
It's like the top comments are just like, I don't feel I learned much, but I still got my money's worth.
Yeah. Like, and I also virtually tucked $1 into his G-string. This is a great tool.
That's another level of virtual satisfaction there.
Oh, they could replace him with what's his name? Stephen King. Just like, all right, guys, lesson 1.
Yeah, Stephen King actually has just like a break glass in case of no writing ideas, and it's full of cocaine.
Yeah.
He's been off the stuff for years, but just in case.
Yeah,
Just in case.
Like, this part's making too much.
No, I do. I can't say that King is my favorite. Just, I haven't read enough of him. But I think he is the best in the modern era. He is the best one to emulate in terms of writing advice. And of course, for people with ADHD, people that find it hard to sit down, that's part of the issue, is just make yourself do it. Oh, easier said than done.
Yeah.
I think finding consistency in whatever schedule you can. So like if you're going to do it daily, for me, it helps to do it at the same time every day, because I sort of get into a rhythm of recognizing, okay, it's almost time for me to go into my little area. And it sort of gets me, it's like mentally stretching in a way before I sit down. Um, and usually it was later in the evenings for whatever reason. It was like between 8 and 9 or 9 and 10. Had to be an hour, had to be completely by myself. But I think that if you can accomplish that, then you should really just take the advice that he gives, which is just write, even if it's bad, because you're still improving.
Yeah.
One of my favorite times to write is like 3 o'clock in the morning because no
Oh,
one's
yeah.
awake.
Yeah.
And like, especially if I've been up the whole time and I just can't sleep, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna sit down at the computer. I'm gonna pound something out. That's where a lot of my work comes from. Those 3
Yeah.
a.m. I'm all alone sessions. Because
Yep.
like during the day, there's too much to do. Got to take the dogs out. Got to clean the pen. Got to do this with my mom. Got to do this with myself or whatever. Got to teach. Got to do this. Got to do that. But in the night, everyone's asleep. The neighborhood is quiet. The dogs are asleep. I can focus. The birds are still going ape shit, but I can focus. And it's not like anybody else is bothering me. It's, it's
Yeah.
not like it's not like if I'm working, Tammy's like, "Why are you writing right now?" It's like I know, I just know that no one needs me at that point, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Yep.
And knowing that I am strictly on my own, I've done some of my best work strictly on my own.
Yeah, I can attest to that too. Like, just not being able to sleep, especially whenever like Liam started sleeping through the night, and I was just like, okay, well, I'm not tired. And
Hang on a second.
I would just write, write, and write. Now I just find it so difficult. But, I mean, there's other female and male, authors that have children that do it. So,
Well, I think it's changing life circumstances. Well, especially for you, Sarah, with how quickly he is growing. I mean, you can't really be stable for the first however many years of having a child, because when you get used to where they're at, they've grown and they've changed.
Yeah.
um,
I'm pretty sure that's the first 18 years, I think.
yeah, something tells me. But I think you have to be okay with those phases too. Like, so you've got to have the marriage of consistency, and then being okay if you get off your schedule, with knowing that, okay, I'll kind of reevaluate and maybe make a new schedule that works better for this phase. I think one of the more damaging things you can do, though, is just guilt yourself, because as a writer, it never works. You just feel like crap. You're like, oh, you piece of trash, you should have written today. Well, now I don't feel like writing ever. So, I mean, just a little bit of grace for yourself goes a long way. And even if you just get a sentence, screw it. It's a sentence. I mean, it's one more than you wrote before.
Even not writing something new, even going back and like working on an old project or something, like I've edited Anchor like 15 times. It used to be 3 pages long, like
Yeah.
that fun little phrase "kill your darlings" is
yeah.
it works.
I hated
Yeah.
it. I hate that it's true. Like,
It is.
I've cut so much stuff that I loved because it just didn't work, and I'm like, oh, but that's not fair.
I had one I was working on called The Nightlife, and I absolutely loved it. And I decided, you know what, I'm gonna redo it. I'm gonna fix it. And I did the first half, and then I stopped. And then 2 weeks later, I came back and finished the second half. Completely changed the ending, and for some fucking reason, completely changed the point of view. So it went from first to third. And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was on page 14 when I realized nothing from page 8 on made any fucking sense. Like, point of views, like I was so frustrated. I just deleted the rest of it. I was like, you know what? New endings all around.
I know how to solve this.
I'm like, and I'm done with you. Okay.
Truly, you are an angry god. You just obliterated it.
Oh yeah, you let my Sims house get too complicated? Boop, gone. Done with you.
One thing that I have started doing that I find has helped in like writer slumps is when I'm stuck on like a scene or how to get a character from point A to point B, and I'm just sitting there like what the hell would this person do? What would I do if I'm in their situation? I feel like I waste so much time thinking what if, what if, what if, and so I just like go on to the next scene or 10 scenes from now, whatever's in my brain, and I just like jot it down, make it pretty, and then I read the whole thing as is, and I'm like, okay, let me bridge this gap. Let me see what I can do. And sometimes I work backwards, or sometimes I'm like, let's just start from this 10th scene, actually.
Yeah.
So I do find that that is helping, kind of speed my writing along instead of feeling like I have writer's block all the time.
That's an interesting, it's going to sound weird, but for whatever reason, I just never considered it that way. That's a really cool, like, lateral strategy instead of being like, because someone like me, I'll just be like, well, no, I've got to beat my head against this wall until I figure it out.
Yes.
And then I'm not even happy with how it turned out, but I still keep going. But I think I really like that idea because you can play around temporally. I mean, you're writing it. Who cares? You can get to the end if you
Right.
want. You can go
Yeah.
back and edit it if it doesn't fit later. But you're at least you're at least getting work done. That's a really cool concept.
Yeah.
I like to throw people in the middle of the shit, like write the middle word, and then make that the beginning. Like, figure the rest out, fuckers. Ha ha. That's why I'm not published. Anyway.
In media res to the extreme. It's always in the middle of the action.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, the thing you said about music, like needing silence, I actually use music to help me write. Like, specifically, there was a point in my writing career in college where the only thing I would listen to was indie bands. Most specifically, the 1975's debut album, the 1975.
Ooh, good
If
choice.
you listen to the song Robbers directly influenced one of my favorite all-time short stories I wrote, Leaving Us, about two guys and a girl leaving Louisiana, going to California and trying to get clean along the way. And they don't steal anything. Like, the little guy Kyle, he's a prostitute, so he goes out and gets money when they need it. And they're like, yeah, like, we're not supposed to be doing this right now. He's like, who cares? We needed money. Take the money. Eat the snacks. Eat the money. Take the snacks. They'll take cheese doodles for payment, right? But like, I like to let the music directly influence me. That way, if it sucks, you can say, "Oh, it's Matt Healy's fault." And I'm like,
It's not my fault.
yeah, I didn't do this.
To your, it's funny because this kind of feels like cheating when I do it, so I need your opinions. Part of, I don't know if it's like, if it is directly tied to ADHD or what it is, but when I hear like auditory stuff, a lot of the times I have to listen to it multiple times before I can really parse out what is being said. So because of that, I mishear a lot of song lyrics. And I think to myself, wow, that's a really cool way of saying that. And then I go back, read the lyric, and say, oh, they weren't saying that at all. And then I think to myself, can I use it though? Because like technically, they didn't say what I thought they were saying. I mean,
that's called a brand new sentence. You get to use it. If your brain brought it up, you're good.
Yeah, I don't think it's cheating at all. I think it's genius.
I'm just like, oh, they didn't say that. Great, it's free. It's free real estate.
It's like that song lyric from Under Pressure. Pushing down on me, pushing down on you, no man asked for. A lot of people misinterpret that no man asked for as you're an asshole. I'm like, you know what? That's exactly what Bowie and Mercury were going for. I think they'd like that better, honestly.
Honestly. That's the official rendition.
Yeah. You're an asshole.
Yeah, and then you can never hear it normally again.
Oh, never. No.
Yeah.
No. For me, it's the Taylor Swift song too, with a lying on the cold hard ground, and then just a goat
Oh, it's the
screaming.
goat.
Yeah,
Man,
that is.
that one went around when we were like in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
And
my
it really
god.
pisses people off when you sing the goat part instead of doing the oh, wah! And they're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" It's like nothing. Leave me alone. I'm on my treadmill. Yeah, but you're wearing headphones. What the fuck?
Yeah, my wife listens to enough Taylor Swift that there are a lot of times that it happens when I either mishear a lyric or I'm just like, wait, what?
It's easy to mishear Taylor's lyrics because no one's really listening to that. And I'm not going back for a re-listen. Stop.
Yeah. Yeah,
I,
I am not by any means a Swiftie. I just love pop culture, so I know everything about her because she's everywhere. But whenever I was like writing my giant, I'm pretty sure it's like 200 pages single space manuscript in high school. Only one person has read that,
is that your
and
sister?
yes, that's my sister.
I remember you talking about that.
No one
Constantly
else will
bullying
put their
that
eyes
child.
on this.
Constantly bullying that child like that. How dare you? Read
But
this. I don't want to. You have to.
I would listen to a lot of like, just regular popular pop songs whenever
Mhm.
I would write. And whenever I went back recently, probably a few months ago, just to like read and see like, feel a little bit better about myself. And I realized that some of the things that I'm writing could and probably were in a Taylor Swift song. Just like the man and the woman fall in love and they met at a coffee shop. And like there's one song, um I don't even remember the name of it, but she's like going to a coffee shop and he's like throwing his head back laughing, and that happens in my book, and I'm like, was I listening to Taylor Swift word for
Taylor, did
word?
you?
This is happening. So
Oh,
that's why I can't listen to music while I'm writing, because then it's just going to infiltrate my words.
or it's like you ever? Yeah, well, no, that's a good point. You write something and you're just like, wait, did I come up with this? I think I did. I'm pretty sure I did. Now I gotta Google it.
Yeah. See, for me, that's I sometimes take things from other writers. Like if I like a phrasing, like for me, I keep using the phrase "she smiled, it didn't reach her eyes," and I keep catching myself fucking doing that, and I'm like, where did I hear this the first time? It doesn't matter. But for me, it's like sometimes people just smile sadly. They don't all the time, you know? So
Yeah.
it's okay to steal like body gestures because everyone has a body gesture. But
Yeah.
like, but when it's word for word though, that's when it gets into the no territory, you know?
And I
Hmm.
think it's just important to your point. There are phrases that every author uses because there's only so many ways to say something in the English language.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being aware of your use of those types of those rote phrases, like and trying to limit them as much as possible, I think that's the best way to make the writing your own and really. But like you said, you can't avoid it. Sometimes you sometimes have to say, "Hey, dude had brown hair." I mean, I don't really
Right.
know, like you can't really make that magical.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Sometimes it can't be completely original. I mean,
Yeah.
something has been written already. Like
well,
it's just
there
Some,
were only
how.
like 7 different types of stories. Is the theory? Every story's ever been written already. You
Yeah.
know.
yeah. I don't know. I think that Flannery O'Connor story, that's the only one where instead of fucking her, he steals her wooden leg. That one's pretty on its own, you know?
What's that? I think
Okay.
that's one of the 7.
Yeah.
Listen. I
Lieutenant
have
Dan, where'd your legs go?
Oh God.
part of
Poor
me is like,
Thomas.
I agree, like everything has already been written, but then, I'm listening to that free shit on Audible where it's all smut, and that shit has not been written. Like, what do you mean you're sleeping with a doorknob? What do you mean?
I know what that means.
That's why the rapture ain't happening tomorrow. Like, have you read this smut?
Jesus comes back, listens to Audible, is like, no, they're not ready for me yet.
He's like, you know what? I'm not ready for you. And then he leaves.
The rapture's happened. We've all been left behind.
I was
I'm not taking anybody. The rapture happened back in 2012, okay?
God was really mad when JC came back. He's like, no one? I don't know, man. I wish I didn't get a goose egg, but like, literally nothing of value was lost.
Like, there was like one guy in China, but he's working on a cure for cancer. I can't take him right now.
Man,
Well,
imagine
God.
these people.
I recently found out that the rapture didn't come about until 1830.
Yeah, I know.
As a concept?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't realize that either. I know Revelations goes back pretty far, but
yeah. But like they asked Jesus what the end of the world was going to be like, and he's like, 2 people in the field, one gonna keep working, one won't. It's the end of the world for her. Not for the other. So that was his little way of saying, shut up.
It's if you read the actual New Testament, you realize that Jesus told them no one's really gonna know, and then every generation afterwards, it was like, I know though.
Yeah, it's gonna happen today.
Yeah.
Let me take off all my clothes so I can go naked.
I don't think you read your book.
Like, you keep thumping it, but if you open it, they got some words in there. Pretty.
It's good for other things too. You don't have to just gesture.
I use mine to keep my kitchen table from wibbling. Okay, Jim Bob, go ahead and open it once in a while. You can sit on the sofa if you didn't sell it for crack and read the Bible. So we got a little mini announcement this week about our new platform. Sarah?
Oh, yes. We made a TikTok.
Oh, we did?
Yes.
Nice.
Patrick didn't even know.
See how well we debrief our people?
Yes. We have a TikTok, and I think it would be a good idea for us to maybe post like some snippets of our writings or snippets of some fun times of us claiming that people are racist when they're not.
Look, I apologize.
Get banned from TikTok. But yeah.
Why'd you get canceled? I called Tom Hanks a racist.
Honestly, I really just want to see how many people we can both piss off and then meet.
Yeah. I just want to see the compilations all the times of me going, fuck.
I know RFK is watching this because he saw the ADHD tag, so.
Let me just hashtag acetaminophen next.
Ooh, that NyQuil really got me good.
But look here, you gotta do it phonetically. Like, I see the minnows fin. So he knows.
I saw someone on TikTok use the hashtag Epsteinaminophen. And I wish I was that funny.
Honestly, you know what? This timeline ain't great, but at least we get some fire memes out of it.
I wish Robin Williams would have still been alive.
I know.
For the Biden administration, for this current administration. Like, honestly. 2014, it was too soon. We needed that man. When we needed him the most, he was gone, man.
Honestly, I feel like that was God doing one of his bros a solid. He was like, I'm going to tap you out.
You've done enough work, my boy.
It's time for you to rest.
Yeah. He did have some Donald Trump jokes, though. He said he didn't think that Donald was the person. He thought that hair was the Donald. And he walks into his apartment. He's like, all right, we're home. And it crawls away. The hair's controlling him like Ratatouille. Come on, fucker.
Makes more sense than anything else I've heard. So,
Well, guys, we've hit that glorious moment. It is 1 hour and 9 minutes. Oh, an extra minute for you this week.
Just no, that's only for Patreon.
Yeah.
Put that minute behind the paywall.
Our one listener is like, where the fuck is the link to the Patreon, guys?
We just keep referencing it.
Keep waiting, baby. Any minute now.
All right, what's the prompt for next week again?
Our prompt for next week is, if you fell down a rabbit hole, what do you think you would find? Let that mean whatever you need it to mean, guys. Remember, you don't have to answer the prompt yes or no. That is not the purpose of a prompt. If any of my students are listening, which I hope you are not, that's not the purpose of a prompt. I hope my admin are listening. Hey guys, you're doing a great job. Love you. Mwah.
Yeah, they have to subscribe to our Patreon to hear that.
That's 2 minutes behind a paywall.
The longer we talk, the more it costs. So hey, I'm down. All right, guys. I have been Frankie Valentine for all intents purposes. I think
I've been Patrick Caleri.
And I've been Sarah Billiot.
And this has been The Workshop, episode 11.
All right. Later, losers.
Bye. Just insult them on the way out. Fuck off, guys. Bye.
That's my...
All right, off we fuck.